and welcome back to another video on the channel. Today we're back on GT Sport and we're back with a track guide for the FIA Nations race at Laguna Seca. So for my track guide, I decided to jump on late last night after we'd streamed, had a spare 20 minutes, did an okay-ish lap in the Cayman. It's a fairly solid lap, hit most of the apexes and actually felt reasonably okay. There's a few more temps in it. I think it can go maybe 3 temps faster at least. But yeah, did this lap so we can get you some insight into the way this track works in terms of getting the lap time out of it. I decided to do it in the Cayman because I actually prefer the Cayman over the Corvette. Now obviously you can use both cars, it's up to you which one you use for this round. I'm personally going to go with the Cayman because I think the way it brakes and the way it rotates into the corner suits my driving style a lot more. It's obviously going to struggle a little bit in terms of top speed, however I think with this race you might be able to get an extra lap or two out of the medium tyre over the Corvette. It'll be interesting to see when we run our race practices in a stream. We're probably going to do that tonight. So yeah, it'll be interesting how this car works out compared to the Corvette. But this is the car I've decided to go with. Hopefully it can help you out. Now obviously you can use the references for the Corvette as well. The brake references are going to be pretty much identical, maybe slightly earlier on the brakes in the Corvette because you're going to be going a little bit faster, although the Porsche will be probably carrying a little bit more speed through the corners, so you'll be weighing it up either way. It's going to be very similar, the braking distance. We're going to go through this track guide and try and help you get as much lap time for your qualifying session and some tips for the race as well. So going into the final corner, obviously you're going to be trying to make sure that you hook this corner up so that you get a good exit speed from the final corner going down into turn 1. So nice and early on the power, working our way down the main straight, and you're going to be looking for the 4-on-3 board. The free board is your late, which pretty much you're going to brake just before the free board. So we're going to slow it down just as we come to the number 4 board here. You see they're traveling past the 4 board and you're looking for that free board on the right hand side as your reference as a braking. Now I brake just before it. You can see that line across the track there. You can see I'm already on the brakes now. So we're braking a little bit before that freeboard. Down through the gears. We're going to go down into 3rd gear and hold 3rd gear while trail braking for a while. Then down into 2nd gear just as we're starting to hit into the apex. And I like to carry a very tight line through this corner. You can see I keep it very narrow in, off the throttle, just coasting through, a little bit of throttle back in, and then on the power nice and early to try and rotate the Cayman around. And then we're powering into this next right hand corner, which we're going to brake just on that 2 board almost. You see the 2 board there, line across the track again. That is going to be our braking reference. So we're going to hit the brake just about on that 2 board, and then we're going to head for that number 1 board. You're going to see we can almost aim for it as we get the left hand tyre onto the curb, down into 2nd gear to rotate the car into this apex, and then on the throttle as early as possible in 2nd, and then into 3rd gear, and then accelerate into this very fast and aggressive right hand corner. You really got to swing it in here. You see using all the curb on the left hand side, a tiny bit of braking put in just before the board on the left hand side, into 3rd gear, and powering all the way through this corner early on the throttle and just feathering that throttle every now and then just to control the speed. Could have took a little bit more speed from there, but we did it reasonably well. And now into the next braking zone, which we're going to use that number 2 board again as a kind of a reference, but we're actually braking quite a bit sooner than that. You can see we're actually braking just past the 3 board, but I like to use the 2 as a reference to make sure that you're braking before it. And then going into this left hand corner, it's very important to use that curb on the right hand side. There's kind of a widening line and to get a better angle so you can carry more speed into the corner. You're trying to hook this left hand tyre up to that curb on the left, making sure you avoid that sausage curb on the left as well, and then powering our way up into this very fast left hand corner. So for this corner we're just going to basically swing it in. You're using that 2 board on the right hand side to put a little tiny amount of braking inputs in there. You can see it's just a bit about transferring the weight. Now you have to be very careful that you do not hit your left hand tyre on the sausage curb there. It will totally upset the car and you'll lose so much lap time. And yeah, carrying the speed all the way through there, did that reasonably well. Now into the next braking zone, I use this darker line of tarmac as my braking reference. You can also use the board on the right hand side. I prefer using that darker bit of tarmac, as you can see the braking inputs going in there just right while I'm on that darker part there. Keeping the car to the right hand side during the braking now so that you can rotate it into the apex, take some of this apex off. You can actually aim the car anywhere in that circle really. You can get away with quite a bit of a cut there, and then powering through this corner. And again, you want to get your right hand tyre just over the right hand side of the curb. Be careful how much you take off this, because if you take too much off you will get a penalty. Could have done that a little bit better, I didn't straight line it enough, but yeah, there was a 10th or so probably in this sector as well. Powering through here, a little lift off the throttle, feathering the throttle. Again, being very careful of that sausage curb on the left hand side. Again, that will really unsettle the car. And then powering our way through this corner into this right hand corner, and again using that number 2 board as a reference, basically braking just before it. And again, you're going to swing your car in and really use the curb on the left hand side to get it into this apex. And again, be very cautious of that sausage curb on the right hand side. It will catch you out. Just try and carry the speed through here in 3rd gear, and then into the final corner where I'm going to use the number 3 board as a reference. Now, be very careful in the race conditions. This board very often gets wiped out, so you kind of have to get used to braking without that there in a way. It's sometimes a good idea to wipe it out in a practice session and actually practice this corner without it there. As you can see, trying to avoid that sausage curb again on the power very early into this final corner. It's so important to get on that power extremely early, especially in the Porsche, because it lacks the grunt. So if the earlier you get on the power, you kind of make up a bit of time on this straight because of that. And we go over the line for a 1 minute 26.4. It's not bad. It's about 3-4 attempts off the top 10 time, I think, but there was at least 3 attempts left in that Porsche. So the Porsche looking quite good here. I think I could get a 25.8 with this Porsche. It seems quite it feels like quite a good car for the track. So let's have a little look at the lap from the chase camera. Again, you can see how I hold that very narrow line through there on the power as early as we can, using all the track. You're going to really notice that with Laguna Seca. With the nature of the track, you really have to use the curbs to widen the angles into these corners. So again, onto the curb, just making sure you do not go on the gravel, though. Obviously onto the sand or the gravel will really ruin your lap. You'll lose a lot of time on acceleration as we go into this corner. Again, using that curb, you see how we kind of use the line of the curb to throw the car into that corner at the correct angle. And then again, this very fast left hand corner, you've got to be really aggressive, carry the speed, skim the apex, and get on the throttle as early as possible. It's a challenging corner. I like that corner, but it can catch you out. And then into the corkscrew, a corner where you just got to get the braking right. If you get the braking right and start getting it rotating in, you can really carry the speed through. Did that okay. Like I said, I could have took a little bit more off on the apex of the corner, probably got a little bit more speed through there, but yeah, got away with that the way we did it. And then down into 3rd gear for this right hand corner again, avoiding that sausage curb. Got very close there, but just about avoiding it. And then into this tricky braking zone, when that brake marker disappears, you have to really do it by distance and judge it by distance, which like I say, practicing that corner with none of the brake markers there can actually save you a lot of time in the race, because it's highly likely someone might wipe them boards out in an incident or something. So yeah, pretty solid lap. I'm going to let you watch that lap at 4 speed now without any commentary. I hope this guide has kind of helped you out and pointed you out in terms of some of the braking, the angles that you take through the corners, and also the racing lines. Yeah, so good luck in your race. Let me know in the comment section if it's helped you out. I appreciate hearing all your comments. I do read them. So yeah, hit that like button if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already subscribed, and hit that notification so you don't miss any future videos or streams. Thanks again for watching, everyone.